Hello there. Hudson, Johnny, Toddy, for the numbers for this week of, what was the first day of this week? Monday, which would have been
December 19th.
December 19th, and this is the 23rd. Friday the 23rd, not Friday the 13th. Anyway, what we do is give our last numbers for 2022.
Okay.
We'll start
Actually,
out with,
not. Next week, we're going to do them too.
Yep. Say the last.
That's not,
Yep.
So that'll be the 30th, I guess.
Yep.
But they'll come out after.
Oh, let's see.
That was
Sorry,
right.
you were right
Yes,
again.
There it is.
I jumped the gun. Anyway, go ahead, Johnny, with VOMP. We'll start with
All
them.
right. So Joe sent out, I think, just Monday and Tuesday, or maybe Tuesday and Wednesday this week. One of those two, or one of those sets of dates there. And I believe that's it for the rest of this year and the rest of December, just because we don't want to be setting out during the holiday season. So we had 33 warm responses and 6 auditions and 5 reported jobs. So Mike Stout, Lauren Gobes, Randy Scott, Brian Da Silva, and Kimberly Young. The majority of those people have been with us for well over a year. So
That's what happens.
they're seeing some traction during the holiday season. So that's nice.
Yeah, when I first started, it was, you do a lot of marketing all day long, basically. Get a few hundred out there and you get a warm reply and you get an audition and then all of a sudden you get a job. But then you had to work harder to get another job and you work hard to get that person to come back. And it just takes time to get the old wheels a turning, get some traction. This is, it's cold because I think this might be the first week you don't have shorts on.
Yeah, it's really cold.
And it is really cold.
That means it's cold.
40 degrees below zero wind chill, I think.
Something like that.
Supposedly, yeah.
It feels like that outside if you're out there for any long period of time.
I asked Hudson if this looks sloppy, and he said, no, I think it looks fine. I said,
then
well,
mine would look
honestly, I don't
sloppy
really
then.
care because it's just cold.
I'm wearing
and you wanna,
a winter hat in the house even somewhat, just because it feels,
That's what I was doing too.
even though the heat's up, it feels
Yeah.
like it's just not fully getting through your body.
All right. Well, I'll go on to my numbers. I didn't send out this week. I only sent out on Tuesday of last week. I did kind of send out this week. I should
Preface that.
restate that. So I had one warm response. I think it was left over from last week. So what I did this week is I did kind of a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to all my clients. Thanks for working with me in 2022. Hope that we can work in a little bit more specific, personalized email to them. And then to all of my warm responses, I just sent Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. And I know that we didn't work maybe this year together, but I hope that we can work together in 2023 and thank them for the warm response that they sent. So I sent all those out. I got lots of out of studio notices or out of work, off of work notices, but I also got a fair amount of replies that were very nice.
Nice.
And nothing like, hey, I got a job for you right now, but you never know. Like, one guy said, I may work with you yet this year. So that was kind of nice. He's still waiting back to hear between me and another guy. I completely forgot about that opportunity, which is nice. And then another person said, yeah, I've got something maybe coming up in the new year. Hopefully we get to work together. Anyway, and lots of other responses that were thanks, Merry Christmas to you and yours. Okay, that's all done. No auditions this week, but I did win an audition from a previous week that was a $350 job.
Nice.
New client, direct email marketing. Boom, bam, bow in your
So
face.
that's 6 then reported jobs because you didn't include his,
Yeah,
right?
in your face with direct email marketing. And then another recurring client for $50, $400 in voiceover, and then $200 editing for $600 this week in voiceover related fields. Nothing on Upwork and always nothing on Fiverr. So there's been a little bit less on Upwork.
And, you haven't been going after it marketing-wise. You've decided to just wait a little bit. You had a trip up to Lambeau Field on Monday, and that affected Monday and Tuesday of this.
Yeah.
See the Packers. And so that's what happens, especially when you're fairly new at this. Hudson is probably kind of in line with some of our other personal assistance people because he's getting lots of emails sent out. But even that, it just takes time to cultivate those those warm leads, and oftentimes once in a while you'll hit them just at the right time, and they'll say, "Oh yeah," but that's rare. It just takes a few touches through the database, and then all of a sudden you start to get some traction. So I'm expecting good things next year, Hudson. I mean, he's planning on his goals are
I've already
enlarged
started
a little
working
bit
on them. Yep. And
Yep.
doubling down on my marketing efforts and continue to work on Upwork, and then figuring out my Fiverr and trying to get that to not be a zero anymore. Because I've made $6,000 on that in my last 2 years. It hasn't been 2 full years yet, but early on it was working real well, and then it started slowing down. And then I got a cancellation, and we've talked about that, and that just dive bombed me. Anyways, trying to get that back up. So
Recurring clients. That is something very important. And I had a previous total in 2020. We've talked about this before, of $329,000, just a little over that. I'm over $5,000 over that for this year. So I'm at about $334,000, $35,000, and we still have a few more days. But that's why I said reoccurring, because 2 of my clients, one I do for a medical device company, they've just gone hot and heavy, and they've got a lot more for 2023.
I do all the editing for that.
Yes.
Most of it, I should say.
And then, and I think I've told this story, but it bears repeating. Back in May, my assistant, Andy, contacted a company down in Florida. And the gentleman called me, and he said, "Hey, we do a lot of work, but it's $100 for a 30-second internet commercial, not a broadcast commercial. And then you do about a minute to a minute and a half of a corporate thing. That's the commercial and the corporate thing are the same company." And he said, "We'll send you a lot of work, but it's only $100. So I'm thinking, okay, a minute and a half. Okay, that usually $250 to $300. A commercial, even for the internet, $150. I'm getting ripped off here. And I just said to him on the phone, "I'm really busy. I'm not sure I'm not going to be able to do this, but we can try." Well, since that, he's referred me to 2 other producers in their company, and they have sent me. Now I get paid $100 each time I do this, and you do the editing. It's bing bang.
Bing, bang, bow.
Yeah, I pump them out in 10 minutes at the most. And they're usually pretty happy with everything. Very rarely do I get anything back. And they have sent me, this is the reoccurring idea, even smaller jobs. They've sent me 160 jobs since May. That's $16,000.
Oh, it's that much.
$16,000.
Your assistant, Andy, so I went to high school and a little bit of college with him, and we grew up together. He was over hanging out with us last week, and you told him that story, and his face, he hadn't heard that one yet, and his jaw was about to the ground on that.
Yeah. Yep. But here's the thing, is there are some people, and again, it's fine. Do your business your way. I do my business my way. If you don't want to accept a job that's under $100, I was leery, and for good reason, because people always promise, I got tons of work. And then they get you to do one job for $100 and it's a ripoff. But whatever, this one came true. It was a good one. And it's more work than it should be. You know what I mean? I shouldn't get paid $100. It's below industry standards, whatever that is. But nevertheless, I decided to do it because I like to work. And so I've been in those situations before. And like I said, it takes me 10 minutes to do it. And it takes you just a couple of minutes to do it. And it's out the door in 15 minutes, and our company gets paid $100 per. That's $16,000 for me being willing to open my mic, where some people say, "Nope, I don't open my mic for $250 or more." And I just don't do that.
What would have been really nice is if you wouldn't have taken it and you would have said, "Hey, my adult son."
I do that sometimes, but
no,
this one I
do.
didn't.
I was just saying that would have been nice if you would, because you had no idea, but if I would have had $16,000 extra on my plate, I would have been in the $30,000 range for this year.
Yeah, the point is that's I'm trying to do
work.
that not as a in your face, but just as an encouragement. Is you can get these diamonds in the rough sometimes if you're just willing to work for a little bit less, take a chance, and B, just stay in the game, because
they won't come
this is my
back.
13th year.
Sometimes they won't come back as much as this person has. That
Yeah.
being said,
Yeah.
they might say, "Well, I have a small budget." There's also those stories where I have a small budget this time, but these aren't my regular ones. And lots of times they or not lots of times, but sometimes they're like you had talked about earlier, where they're kind of they always have low budgets. But sometimes you can find yourself in a situation where it's one time a low budget, and then you can consistently get work from that company for more to industry standards, whatever those are exactly, and all that kind of stuff. So,
and I've been burned.
Yeah,
I try to tell those stories too. I can't remember the last time I talked with you about that, but I've been burned before. There was a company in India that I got burned, and somebody else in VOMP got burned by using them. Really high expectations, low pay, promise of lots of work. The only thing that came through basically was the low pay and lots of work, but they were really difficult to work with, and it didn't go well. And so I get burned sometimes, but I like to tell some success stories too, because those things are out there, and you just got to be willing to work. So anyway, my week was Fiverr $2,060, and my direct email marketing was $6,348 for direct email marketing. We started out real fast at the beginning of the week, and then it slowed down a little bit. But my total was $8,408 for voiceover alone. I don't get any money for coaching, no money for anything other than voiceover. $8,408 for my total this week.
VOMP doesn't even pay you.
VOMP doesn't pay me, which it's super. I'm glad to be of service to VOMP, to my boys, and to lots of you fine folks.
We also we talked about it a little bit in the Todd's Tips, but we had a gentleman that got a hold of us via email. Won't say his name, but he got a hold of us, and do you have it, Dad, there? Do you have the email, or just?
I don't. I have his questions.
Yeah, that's I guess what I was looking for.
His question was, and is it embarrassing? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I have mixed
the truth.
I have mixed emotions about talking about it, and it's not really emotional, but it's just weird in some ways. I guess he's followed us enough to know that I've had a website, and now he can't find it anymore, and I don't think I can find it anymore. Within the first year of my business, I was told, you got to have a website. And it made sense to me. You don't want to be a fly-by-night person. You want to be someone that's showing they're in the game and there to stay and such like that, and a place to put your demo and things like that. And so I think I did one with GoDaddy. It was a real simple one that somebody did. Yeah. It was like $100 back then, 12 years ago. Anyway, but in year 4-ish, I can't remember when it was exactly, I did a much more elaborate one. I think it cost me $2,500. We did a video, and this was the one.
It was a nice one.
Yeah, this is the one we're referring to. And it was one that I could add to. Like, I did some blogging for a while, and you could add new videos in your portfolio and stuff. And that's the one he's referring to. But it was an HTTP, not an S. And so I don't know why, but it was old. And so it had to be reset a couple of times because I think it got spammed and corroded and hacked or whatever they call it. And so I just noticed several people have said that they can't find my website anymore. And I don't think you can, because I think it's kind of been blown up. So, the only way I used it was kind of as a placeholder. I didn't drive traffic to there. I think I sent out one batch of emails back 9 years ago when I first had it, and I tried to get them to go there, and so the question then came up by this gentleman: if you don't have a website, how do you successfully market? And like I said, after a while, I just got tired of it. I was all in on direct email marketing and really going that direction. Not that you can't do two things at once, but I just focused my time all in that area. And people were saying, "Oh, you need to blog and put a vlog and put videos on there and make sure it's always updated and drive traffic there." And I just never did that because I was getting enough work, and I just kept focusing on direct email marketing. And so I'm trying to look at some of the thoughts that I had here. The other reason I didn't, and we do the same thing in VOMP, another reason why I'm fine with people when they send out direct email marketing templates that they put their website in. Mm-hmm. Well, go ahead. Maybe you want to say?
No, I just want to make sure. I was going to make sure you covered it, but you're going to. So
that they're able to put their website somewhere on the template, but we try not to. And I stopped doing that quite a few years ago. Putting my website as a link. And the reason is because what you're asking them is really to do at least 3 clicks. Click on your email, which is big. You aren't going to get many of those. And then click on your website.
And then scroll around and then find
scroll
your demos,
or even just have to click right there, even if it's right there on your demo or demos.
And if it takes a second or two to load.
Yep. That's a third. Yeah.
3 lines of defense, 3 strikes and you're out, to be honest.
Three gatekeepers, if you will. And so I just said, I only want 2. So what I do is, and we encourage people to do, is have a video link of something they're really proud of, something they've worked on, and have those in like 2 little bullet points. And that's how you drive people to those links. Because bottom line is, I don't think most of the people want to know your dog's name. And I don't think most of the people want to know that what your philosophy on voiceover is. I don't think a lot of people want to know that. Some will. Some will get, a charge out of that.
They might also not care who you've worked with.
I don't even do that anymore.
If they like your voice, they'll just take your voice. If they don't care if you've worked with Pepsi or the NBA or whoever it is.
Some might, and you'll have a story that they were sold on you because of that, or liked your vlogs or whatever. But I just think it's clutter. And so we try to get people to click. I try to get people to click 2 times, once on my email and once on my link, because I want to get my voice to them. I want to see the projects that they've done. And so that's why I don't drive people to my website. And I think because of my direct email marketing, I don't think, and that way of direct email marketing, I don't think people visit my website very much. They can't now. So I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm not saying I think I'm a little bit of an anomaly. But he also asked the question of, he said Hudson doesn't have one either. And Hudson's in his 2nd year. And so why doesn't Hudson have one? Maybe he could understand with what I'm doing financially, the numbers I'm making, but why doesn't Hudson have one? And maybe you want to comment on that.
The reason that I didn't get one right away is we've talked about certain things that are most important to have before, something to get established as a voice, where you need demos so that people can hear your voice. You need a quiet space. You've talked about that in your Todd's tips. You need equipment that sounds good enough that you can get it there, and then you need an email to be able to send it out to different people. So I didn't really, at this point, I was more focused on just getting some clients, getting some work, getting better. This next year, that's part of my 2023 plan is to get a website for myself, because I just bought a whisper room. I'm going to be getting new microphone and equipment, and I've proven a couple times with 1 month of $3,100 and another month of $3,600, or week of $3,100 and another week of $3,600, that people like my voice and that I can be viable. And so I'm going to kind of push my chips, not all of them, to the middle of the table, but I'm going to go after it more. And so a website would be probably now a good thing to have. But I've also proven somewhat, a very small scale, that I haven't needed a website at this point because I'm new. And I guess, I don't know. That's what we talked about a little bit.
I will say that, VO Marketing Pro, we get a fair amount of inquiries from different voice talent. And when they send stuff, it's to the point of what we care about is, is your voice good? Is your voice good? And I don't necessarily spend a whole bunch of time when I get them in. I just go right to their demo if they have one, or if they don't send anything, but they have like who they work for. I care, but I don't care, because I send them back. Well, can I hear your demo?
You want to know if they're a good fit.
Yeah,
That's what you're looking
if they're
for.
a good fit. Because eventually, what VO Marketing Pro wants to do, much like your clients want to do when they get a hold of you, is all I really need is their email, and their demo. And so, to your point about a website, I think it's probably a good idea to have a
professional
website.
looking.
Looks professional, and we have one, and we've got a roster on there and things like that. But we're looking for the voice when you send it, and so that's what I'm looking for, and I can get back to you via email. But I'm not necessarily going to go through your website and, see all the credits and all the other things. I just want to hear if it's a good fit. And then once we find that you're a good fit, then we want to know, are you easy to work with?
Yeah,
and that's what they're doing with you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get back to people right away, and that's what we try to do, especially when people are working with us. Sometimes, to be honest, we get an influx of emails, and we try our best to get back to people as quickly as possible. We don't usually forget anybody, but it's more so when people are with us in VO Marketing Pro. Joe is very good at getting back with people, and we send warm responses and jobs, sometimes in the middle of the night to people. So that's more what we care about, is the demos and that, and then how you are to work with. And I think that's what you've found, that it isn't so much the website, and it's not wrong to have a nice website, and it's works for some people, but I think in some respects, VO Marketing Pro is following after a little bit in you. Not that we're not gonna have a website, but more so what we think, because I think that's how people think when they get our emails. Is if they get that email, they don't really have the time to look through. They get lots of emails. Lots of them get back to us, and they say, "I get emails like this all the time." So to separate yourself from the self, get your demo or get your little video clip there, and don't make them click a lot, or else they're gonna get tired of it and they're gonna move on. And so I don't know if they care so much about your website. Some do, I'm sure, but
it's more the core philosophies or values that you have are probably, if you're easy to work with, responsive, you're good at what you do, likable, whatever you want to call it, flexible with your prices. People are going to get a hold of you, whether or not you have a website or not. But if you have a wonderful website, but you're terrible at getting back to people,
or your demos aren't good.
What's
Don't
your
promote
website
them
going
on
to
a
do?
website.
Yeah, what's your website going to do to help fill in the cracks of being a poor communicator, or whatever it is? So anyway.
Well, I know we don't want to keep going because we've gone longer than we normally do, but I appreciate the question.
Yes.
And we want questions
like
this, and we'll do our best to answer. I don't have all the answers, but we can usually find the answers or get somebody. Maybe we'll have somebody on that can answer it. Yeah. But I just wanted to close this out just for a couple minutes with just some thoughts that I had, and I'll be brief here.
Yeah. Time.
I want to have a website again.
Yeah.
Just so you know. In fact, that's been on I always do my goals for each year. And I look back, it's been my goal for the last 4 years. But it just gets swallowed up with other things. So I failed on that goal, and I'd like to do it. I have it down this year again. But there's two major views on VO websites, at least that I know of. And so just think about this, especially the guy that was kind enough to send an email with these questions. But everybody can think about it. Two major views. One, it just shows professionalism, that you're in the game to stay, a thoughtfulness, a place to highlight your demos. A lot of times that means it's just a one-pager. And you just want them to go there, and you want them to have a link right away. And it's a marketing tool for sure, but it's just a placeholder, if you will, for your contact information and your demos and
it's
stuff.
Another like check mark to show that this person's for real.
Right,
That's what you're saying.
The other is to build it out and try to create content, SEO, create lots and lots of content regularly, intentionally drive clients there, and perhaps even make it a one-stop shop where you can quickly buy that person's VO. So they can go there, they can see all of the stuff, they can even pay with a credit card. That's what some people are proponents of. So I'm just telling you, there's two major views. Now, there might be some in between, and there might be some I haven't thought of, but one is a more simple one that's kind of just drive it there for your demos, contact information. The other one is build it out, try to create this big wave, if you will, so that people find you all over the place and then come and can buy right from your website. So whatever you choose to do, it's your business. Do it the way you want to, but that's the answer to those questions.
Thanks. Thank you to the gentleman once again for emailing us.
How can they get a hold of us if they want to send in questions? They
can comment below these on the YouTube page. We can get a hold of them there. You can also email me at hudsonbarsness@yahoo.com. No spaces, all lowercases.
Or Joe Barsness at vomarketingpro.com. Whatever way. Some people just don't feel comfortable. They don't, whatever.
We won't use your name.
We won't use your name.
And
we'll do
don't be shy. We're happy to.
Yeah, we're happy to answer questions.
And if you want to share your numbers too, feel free.
Yep.
I should be more. Sometimes I should be more whatchamacallit with my numbers.
Transparent?
No,
Less
maybe I should be
transparent.
less transparent
Oh, yeah.
sometimes
Oh,
because
yeah.
they're not. Anyway, yeah. So
That's the best part of it.
yeah, it is. So
Let's be
thank you.
honest.
Thank you for watching, and Merry Christmas. And hope
Talk to you before the new year is up.
we might
maybe.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might do
if
that.
you watch it then.
Yeah. See you later.